Well, are you playing or not, Roger? It's Thursday morning, and no one is 100% sure if Roger Federer is going to play in Dubai. The tournament starts in 4 days. But many of us are pretty sure he's not going to play. I'll read a couple of your tweets and comments of people who are totally convinced that Roger's not going to play. And also, we'll talk about Denis Shapovalov's magic trick down in Delray Beach in Florida. And of course, I've got a little bit on the weak era theory. I've been wanting to make a video on the weak era theory. Let me know below if you guys want to see that video. But I saw one interesting piece, something I forgot about. We'll get in that in today's very brief, very fun show. Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis. I'm your host, Matt Bradshaw, and this is the fastest growing tennis talk show in the world. Let's get into it. So first, let's just talk about Dubai, and I'll read a couple tweets. Put it on the screen, please. So Connie says, still convinced Roger will not play Dubai. Ravi Shardul, what's the latest he can enter this event? It's Friday tomorrow. The competition starts next week Sunday. I think he actually meant this week Sunday because it's really just 3 or 4 days away. Yeah, it's Thursday, so we're about 4 days away. And then this is pretty convincing. From Reno Simonjuntak. Simonjuntak. Let me know if I said that right, Reno. By the way, you guys can all tweet me at CoffeeBreak10s, T-E-N-S, on the Twitters. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me. And if I'm ever going to cancel a show or let you know that I changed the schedule, I'll usually do it on Twitter. That's the easiest way for me to get word out to a lot of people. Once a qualifying competition has commenced, first ball of the first qualifying match is struck. An entered player may not be offered, nor the player accept a wild card into any tournament that week. And he got deep for us. ATP rules 7.12.A.1.C. Thank you, Reno, for digging into the ATP rulebook for us. Actually, I really do appreciate that. So if you think about that, that could get pretty crazy. And for Roger, I think any tournament director would bend over backwards and go along with this. Imagine this scenario where they're just waiting. There's a bunch of people sitting courtside for the first qualifying match during the warm-up because the first ball struck. They're talking about the match, not the warm-up. So in theory, comment below if you know the ATP rules better than me. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in theory, oh, here comes the sun. Sorry if the screen gets crazy and my face turns to another color because of the lighting. Anyways, so in theory, Roger could say he was going to play right before the first ball struck of the first qualifying match, during the warm-ups even. So it'll be very interesting to see if somehow Roger sneaks in the very last, literally second, where he could still announce that he's going to play. I'm sure Dubai would do anything to get Roger in. Of course, that rule does mention wild card. I don't know. Are there any wild cards left? Is there one that they leave aside? There is that ATP 500 rule that we heard about from Rotterdam, where they have this one special wild card reserved only for top 5 players. So yeah, maybe that's the deal. That rule comes into play. Roger can say, "Give me that top 5 wild card," right before the first ball is struck in qualifying. So cross your fingers if you really want to see Roger in Dubai. There's still a tiny chance, but most everyone says it's not going to happen. Coffee Break Tennis is brought to you by Crunch Time Coaching, tennis player's best friend, tennis player's ultimate resource. If you play tennis, if you love this wonderful game, go to Crunch Time Coaching on YouTube. Start learning, start getting better at tennis today. All right, did anyone out there see Denis Shapovalov versus Dr. Ivo Karlovic? That match was wild. So Shapovalov was this close to being down. And it's funny because I remember I walked out of the house, and then I came back and watched the match later. I've seen the match. But when I first was watching the match, I had to go, and Karlovic just kind of dumps this little slice ball, just kind of catches it with the bottom of his frame, and it goes in the bottom of the net. Nothing happens with the ball. That's how Karlovic played the up 40 love on Shapovalov's serve point. So he's up 2-0, 40 love. Misses that little slice ball, and then Shapovalov starts working some real magic, ends up winning that match in straight sets. So I know a lot of you out there are very excited by Denis Shapovalov and think that he could be the future of tennis maybe. And I just want to say that's pretty big time. Playing Karlovic is tough for everyone. even for guys like Nadal and Federer, as we've heard them talk about it over the years. Who could forget that year where Rafa almost got upset in, what was it, the first round of the French Open against John Isner? Like, playing these big servers can be very tricky for everyone. So, and especially in Delray Beach, this is a tournament that Karlovic plays all the time. I've seen him, I'm pretty sure I've seen him win it. I know I've seen him in the trophy ceremony a couple times there. So I think he's runner-up, and won the tournament. So he's very comfortable at that tournament. And when you're almost down a double break like that, I mean, Shapovalov, he almost came back from the dead in that match. So keep your eye on Shapovalov. Also, it's a pretty good lineup they got down there. Del Potro's playing as well. Take a look at some scores. Sock is out. Isner's out. Milos Raonic is out. Is Raonic ever going to be the same? American tennis took some big hits down there. And look who showed up down in Delray Beach. It's hashtag Donskoy debacle, brought to you by hashtag he took out Donald Young. Donskoy is out there. So today I'm up against a serious time crunch. I've got to go get my hair cut. Oh, it's bad, huh? It's long. Today's a hat day. So recently I was tweeted. Let's see who it was. I'll find it. Who was the tweeter? So Miss Patibandla, you can follow her at Manasa_P. So MANASA_P. She tweeted the tennis podcast episode, a most recent one, to me, and it was a very good one. So they had on the tennis podcast Christopher Clary from the New York Times, who's been covering sports for a long time. He's been covering tennis for virtually the entire Roger Federer career. So he knows a lot about Roger Federer. He's seen him up close in action a lot, covered him, interviewed him, blah, blah, blah. So he talked about Federer. They did a whole Federer episode. So you should probably go listen to that if you like Roger Federer. But one thing, there's a few things that stuck out to me, and maybe I'll bring them up next episode. Like I said, we're on a time crunch today, but there was one big thing he said, and he didn't link it. There's like a helicopter overhead. I don't know what's going on, but sorry if that bothers you. He said one thing that really struck a chord with me because it totally debunks the weak era theory. And like I said earlier in the show, I want to make a video all about debunking the weak era theory. Comment below if you're interested in that show. Let me know so I can get started on that right away. But what he said was, remember when Roger beat Agassi in the U.S. Open Finals, like 2005? I think Agassi was about 35 years old. And it was a good match. You know, Agassi got one set, but Roger was pretty dominant. Now there's birds making a bunch of noise. This is a crazy day. So Agassi, after losing, he basically said, you know, the thing about Roger, I've never played anyone like that who made me so uncomfortable on court. And he said, with Pete Sampras, you know, we're not going to say Pete Sampras is part of a weak era, are we? He said, with Pete Sampras, you always felt like, you know, you could go to his backhand. There was a safe place you could go, a safe place you could hit to on the court and feel comfortable like you're still on the point. He said, with Roger, you don't have that feeling. So Agassi, he's played greats. You know, Agassi's played McEnroe and Lindell and Connors. You know, Agassi's played everyone from different eras. And Agassi, of course, is a great at the game. If Agassi was saying all those years ago that Roger's somehow special, that he's, you know, different than great players like Sampras, he's more dangerous, more difficult to play than guys like Pete Sampras, that kind of undoes the weak era theory, right? Wouldn't it? Here's this guy who's played in the previous era, the strong era, I guess we could say, and he's saying that Roger is like better than all those guys from his era. Now, he didn't say exactly that, but he's kind of saying that. I mean, you could argue that Sampras is the strongest player from Agassi's era, and he's talking about how with Sampras there was places you could hit to, but Federer, you got no options. So just something for you guys to think about, you guys and gals out there to think about. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching Coffee Break Tennis. Sorry that we had a very, very short show. I teach my little tennis kids out in Atlanta at noon today. So if you combine the haircut with the noon teaching, pretty tricky to get this one in. Anyways, we will be back Monday, and there will be a full-length show with a lot more time to work on it, and hopefully some very interesting tennis news. See you Monday at 11 a.m. Don't forget the new time slot here at Coffee Break Tennis is Mondays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Hot dog!